All right, class, this is part B. So it says the initial rate study was performed on the reaction system. Data for the experiments are given below in the table. So here I have my trials for the experiment. I have the concentration, there we go, of the Cl minus. I have the concentration of the MnO4, the permanganate minus, and obviously the acid. Notice that the acid doesn't change, so we can ignore that. So we don't need to look at the H plus at all for any of the calculations that we're going to do, which is good news. Okay, so that means we're only concerned about the Cl minus and the MnO4 minus. So let's go through that like we would any other problem. So notice here that the MnO4 is the same for trials 1 and 2. And then it's different for trials 1 and 2 for the Cl minus. And there's a difference in the rates then. So we're going to set this up for Cl minus. We're going to find out Cl minus, and we're going to do that by looking at trials 1 and 2. I'm going to put 2 over 1. So trial 2 has, if I'm talking about the Cl minus, it has 0.0312. We're going to divide that by the change in the concentration of 104, like that. And then remember, we're looking for the order. So the order is the m, the small letter m, that is the variable in this case. And then we're going to compare it to the rate. So what is the rate in trial number 2 is 2.03 times 10 to the negative 7th. And then divide that by the rate in trial 1, which is 2.25 times 10 to the negative 8th. Okay, when I divide these, remember I don't have to worry about the MnO4, because if that stays the same, then it doesn't show up. Let me just move down so I can get a little bit more room. Like that. And now what I get is I have the 0.0312 over 0.0104, which is exactly 3, and that's to my m. And then over here, the 2.03 times 10 to the negative 7th is a larger number, divided by the 2.25 times 10 to the negative 8th is a smaller number, and that ends up being 9, which means that my m equals 2, which means that in the rate law, I have an order of 2 for Cl minus. Excellent. Let's go back to, then, I2. I'm going to do the same thing up here, except this time, first of all, I'm still going to ignore, come on, there we go. I'm still going to ignore the acid, because that doesn't change no matter what we do. But notice here I got, for Cl minus, I got trials 2 and 3 are the same, so I can ignore them. And then I have my MnO4 is changing between trials 2 and 3, and it changes here again for rate. Okay, so I'm going to take trials 2 and 3, and because 2 is higher than 3 for the concentration of MnO4, I'm going to keep trial 2 on top. And this is the MnO4, the minus. And then I'm going to do trial 2 over trial 3, like this. I'm going to have to erase some of this here. And let's take a look at what the rate is then. So for the rate, I have 2.03 times 10 to the negative 7th, like this. And I divide that by 1.02 times 10 to the negative 7th. Okay, so for this, the rate looks like I got a 2 here, and this one clearly looks like a 2, but this is all by the order of n. So 2n equals 2, so that means n equals 1. This is a really actually pretty simple problem to find the orders. So we got the order for Cl minus is second order, and first order for permanganate. And that's it for part B. And then we'll take a look at part C. That will be the next screencast.